Hey, welcome back to the Smoothie Series. This is part 3. I'm an Azure administrator as well as an Azure Solutions Architect. In part 3, we will configure the Helm stable repository, install the MongoDB chart, and create a community secret to hold database credentials. Here's a overview what we'll be doing in part 3 of the lab as well as part 4. So name service of ratings app. We did that in part 2 or 1. And we're eventually going to create a service type of cluster IP. And a cluster IP type allows for internal communication within the pod. And then we're going to create a deployment of the ratings Mongo database. And that'll create our pod. And then we're going to create a secret, and inside there is going to be the connection string for our Mongo database backend. And the reason you create a secret is so you don't have to put the password and username in your YAML file. It's going to be an environment variable. So here's a big overview for the next 2 parts. And in this part, we're going to use a Helm chart for the database. Hey, welcome to another lab. The first thing we do today in our continuation of our AKS Lab is to install Helm. And I'll get into more details what Helm is. But for now, we're going to install it, and you go to this website, and we're going to need it to install our Mongo database. So the first step is, there's lots of different options here through packet managers, from Snap, but we're going to go with, for the binary release, choose our desired version. And choose Windows, because I'm Windows. And we're going to do a save as. Oh, looks like I already did install it. I didn't remember installing it, but it looks like I did already. So we'll just pretend I have the download. And I do. And so we'll minimize this. And go to our PowerShell. And there's our stuff from before. And let's look at the commands that we need to do. And hopefully I have it installed already. Let's go ahead and I'm just going to type Helm. I'm not sure if it's going to be my path or not. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like we're good. So yeah, all I did before I installed it was very uneventful. Just click on the executable and you're good to go. Now I need to get into the folder that I want to be in, and I kind of forget where I put that stuff. Looks like, there we go. All right, yep, I remember now. So we'll just stay here for now, and we're ready to go. Type in our command, Helm repo add HTTPS. Yeah, what we're doing here is configuring the Helm client to use the stable repository by running the Helm repo add command. So that's what we're doing here. And charts bitnami.com and bitnami. All right, let's go ahead and run that and see what happens. Excellent. It's now been added to. So now I can get a list of those. So Helm search SEARCH. Terrible typer today. SEARCH repo bit Nami. And you're going to see a lot of choices here. You see there's some interesting stuff here. You got Kafka, which is streaming. And we're going to be using this MongoDB. It's a non-SQL document-oriented database. If you're using the Azure client shell, no need to install Helm. It's automatically built into the shell. A little more about Helm itself. It's considered an application package manager for Kubernetes. It offers a way to easily deploy applications and services using charts. And lucky for us, Helm has a chart for MongoDB. So now you might be asking yourself, what is a chart? Well, a chart is a collection of files that describe a related set of Kubernetes resources. You can use a single chart to deploy something simple like a Memcache pod, or something complex like a full web app stack with HTTP servers, databases, and caches. Helm charts are stored in Helm chart repositories. The official chart repository is maintained on GitHub, and the Helm Hub provides a way to discover and view documentation of such. Okay, so now we're ready to install the Mongo database instance. And if you recall from the previous lab, we configured our cluster with the ratings app namespace. That was one of the last steps we did. Here we're going to specify that namespace as part of the Helm install and a name for the database release. The releases we're going to call ratings, and we're going to deploy it in the ratings app namespace. Okay, I have the command for the Helm install. Notice you could use your own username and password, but the application that we're going to be deploying is going to assume this name. So keep things running smoothly. I highly suggest you keep this as ratingsDB. So let me come down here, clear the old screen, and run this command. And if you receive output similar to this, it means it worked. And there's some little text here that came out. We're going to need this here. So let's take this and just copy it. And I'm going to put it at the very top of my document. This way it'll be easy to find. And it gives some other stuff here. To get the root password, you can run this. So you get the password speed racer, run that. Connect your database from a client computer, you're going to run that. So let's go ahead, just in case, let's go ahead and get this information. And we'll go ahead and grab this. And we'll go ahead and grab that. Okay, okay. If by chance you throw an error or you want to uninstall what we just did, here is the command. Again, only run this if you have some reason at this point to uninstall and start again. I also placed number signs to run out these commands to make this look a little cleaner. All right, I should really put up here. End of part 2. All right. Okay, looking pretty good so far. Okay, now if you were concerned earlier about the password being in clear text here, we're going to go ahead and create a Kubernetes secret to hold those Mongo database details. And the whole idea of a secrets let you store and manage sensitive information, such as passwords. Putting this information in a secret is safer and more flexible than hard coding it in a pod definition or container image. So we're going to move ahead and by creating our secret. We'll use a kubectl command for this. And we got to define our namespace. And here we're going to put our username. Oh, that should be an @ sign. Have to go backwards here for a second. It's speed race of the username, and then the password. So there we go. Let's scroll over here a little bit and finish off. We're almost finished. And let's take a look at this. From literal. This should be an equal sign. Mongo connection equals MongoDB / username, password, @ ratings - MongoDB ratings app : 27017 / ratingsdb. I think that's looking pretty good. Let's clear our screen down here and let's give it a shot. Pretty good. Now using this command, describe is a very good command to use with kubectl in general. It's a very powerful command. And there you go. We got our secret in there. Okay, before we close this section of the lab, or the series, well, let me rephrase. Before we end this lab 3 of the series, let's go over a couple commands. These are new things I just have on the screen now. The first one is a kubectl kubectl get all, and you're going to see, despite the name, it only gives you the resources in the default namespace. So if you want to get everything or all in all the namespaces, you need to run this command. But this could be a little overwhelming, especially if you have a large environment. So there is this command. Let's say if you want to just get the pods in our namespace of ratings app. So let me scroll down here and run that command. And there you see we have our MongoDB that we created in this lab. And it's looking pretty good. Let's say you want to get the services that are running currently in our ratings namespace. And here's our here's our MongoDB. Now we get the IP address of it running on the cluster of 27017, but no external IP address at this time. And then let's say you wanted to get pods, services, and we'll add another one, secrets, all at once in ratings app. And you can see, let me clear my screen. And you can see everything we got. So you can see it shows the pod, the service, like these two commands, and then it lists them all in order. And here, as you can see, we have our secrets as well. So this was a pretty good lab, I think. And we configured the Helm stable repository. Then we used the Helm chart to deploy our MongoDB to our cluster. And then we created a community secret to hold the database credentials. Next, we'll deploy the ratings API.